Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Wednesday webinars with Squibbler. My name is Moxie, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the power of personal storytelling in nonfiction and memoirs. So, if you're working on self help or memoirs, this is going to be a super helpful webinar for you. So, you're going to learn in this webinar the art of crafting personal stories. We'll talk about the role of vulnerability and honesty in your writing. It's very important for these genres. We'll talk about some techniques that will create a lasting impact on your readers, and then we'll talk about publishing and finding your audience. So, storytelling has been a really powerful force across cultures for centuries. But today, as more people are overwhelmed and overpowered, they're looking to guidance from other people. And we see that a lot of writers are becoming empowered to share their experiences. So, we see personal storytelling shaping perspectives, cultures, and even history. The stories are not just in books, but in everyday features of our lives, like TED Talks. In the world of nonfiction and memoirs, personal storytelling stands out as a unique tool. It's one that not only is going to inform, but also deeply connect readers on human experiences behind the facts. So, one of the big tips for creating personal stories is finding your narrative arc. Although memoirs and self help are different genres from fiction, they do share some similarities, as you'll see during the course of this webinar. And like a novel, your memoir needs a narrative arc, a clear beginning, middle, and end. It's not something where you're going to detail the beginning of your birth to where you are now in life. You're going to pick a part of your story that's completely compelling for your reader. So you want to identify some major moments that pushed you towards growth or change and let these form the backbone of your story. In Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, the author structures her memoir around her relationship with her mother and her Korean heritage. And this is going to build to a bittersweet understanding of her identity through the loss of her mother. You also want to focus on creating universal themes in your writing. So even though a memoir or a self-help book include personal stories, they also focus on universal themes such as resilience, identity, or love, and this makes them relatable. You want to ask yourself, how does this experience connect with others' lives? And the best memoirs are able to make this connection with readers. In Untamed by Glennon Doyle, the author does this. The author taps into the theme of self-discovery and empowerment, and which is universal, and is going to frame her journey in a way that resonates widely with people seeking authenticity in their lives. Another tip for crafting personal stories and narratives is to use the old adage, show, not tell. We use this in concert with fiction and with screenplays, but you want to make sure that you're doing this in your personal narratives as well. Use descriptive language and scenes to show your experiences rather than just summarizing them. This is going to create an immersive reading experience, and it's going to draw readers into your world. You can also use AI to complete this. You can use Squibbler's rewrite and show, don't tell function to strengthen your novel's descriptive language in your rewrites. And you can also use the describe function. An example of this from recent work is The Beauty of Dusk by Frank Bruni, and he's going to be recounting his sudden vision loss with vivid descriptions, sharing not only what happened to him, but how it felt and changed him. So this technique is going to give readers a firsthand emotional experience. You also want to make sure when you're crafting your personal story to embrace vulnerability and honesty. Readers are going to connect most when writers are real and vulnerable. So you don't want to shy away from revealing the messier sides of your story. These often make it more impactful. Some writers even use brutal honesty to a comedic effect. David Sedaris is one writer who is excellent at being both candid and funny, but he's always honest. An example of this, too, from recent works are I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is a very popular memoir from Jeanette McCurdy. The author is going to speak openly about her struggles with family dynamics, eating disorders, and fame. Her honesty and vulnerability make the story more powerful and resonant. Another strategy is to use dialogue to bring moments to life. And this is something we're used to seeing in fiction and screenplays, but it's something that's important to include in your memoirs as well. You want to recreate important conversations in your memoir, and that's going to bring immediacy and realism. We're dropped into the center of the story with the actual voices who are talking. It's going to make these key moments dynamic. It's going to help the readers hear the voices of your story. You can use Generate a Scene in Squibbler to create dialogue for your book, and it will generate an entire scene for you. An example of this from recent memoirs is Finding Me by Oscar winning actress Viola Davis. She uses dialogue from her interactions with her family and with mentors and other people in her life to paint a vivid picture of her journey. So we do get a lot of conversation in her memoir. And these exchanges are going to add a layer of authenticity that feels raw and real. We feel like we're in the middle of those settings. Another tip is to make sure that you're showing vulnerability and honesty, and there are several ways you can accomplish this. We already talked about this to some degree, but you want to share the moments of struggle and self doubt. Readers connect deeply with the humanity of a struggle. So, this is a universal journey we like to read about. You want to be willing to share the parts of your journey where you faced internal battles, insecurities, or setbacks. We all have moments in life where we felt insecure or failed at something, and tapping into these moments makes your work relatable. You can also heighten these moments with Squibbler's tool in rewrite and more inner conflict if you need to heighten that sense of struggle and self doubt in your work. An example from a recent memoir is Educated by Tara Westover. She writes openly about her conflict between family loyalty and her desire for education. Her honesty about her self doubt and pain make her journey towards self acceptance more compelling and relatable. You also want to reveal the complexity of relationships in your writing. Rather than presenting relationships in black and white, show the nuances. There is often love mixed with conflict. There's often loyalty complicated by hurt. This complexity is going to add depth and authenticity. In A Beautiful Country by Kwai Julie Wang, Wang explores her relationship with her parents and the strains of immigration with empathy and nuance. She shares the mix of love and resentment she felt, making her family's journey feel incredibly real and grounded. Another way to establish vulnerability and honesty is to acknowledge mistakes and growth. Honesty often means admitting your flaws. Sharing mistakes and lessons that you've learned from them demonstrates personal growth, and it's a quality that readers resonate with and admire. In Green Lights by actor Matthew McConaughey, the actor candidly recounts some impulsive decisions that he made and some career missteps. And by acknowledging his mistakes and what he learned, the actor invites readers to see him as relatable and reflective. Another way to establish vulnerability and honesty in your writing is to express emotions in full detail. Don't shy away from describing the raw emotions you were feeling, even if they were intense or confusing or uncomfortable. Emotions are often what connect readers more directly with your story. And you can develop your emotional journey with the rewrite more inner conflict or rewrite custom function if you need to heighten that sense of vulnerability and honesty in your writing. In Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford, the author describes her feelings of love, anger, and loss surrounding her relationship with her incarcerated father. By expressing her complicated emotions in vivid detail, she creates a powerful emotional journey for her readers. This would not be the case if she focused solely on her feelings of loss. It's the complexity of these emotions that she's feeling that really pull the readers into the book. Another way to establish vulnerability and honesty is to show resilience without sugarcoating the pain. Resilience is inspiring, but be careful not to downplay the hardships you faced. Show both the struggles and the strength that you found, allowing readers to see the full scope of your journey. And this is true also for when you're writing self-help books. If you have experiences in your own life, you want to make sure that you're not diminishing the amount of struggles that you faced in your goal to help other people. An example from recent work is What My Bones Know. Stephanie Fu explores her experience with complex PTSD and unflinching honesty. She details her trauma and her path towards healing. Her willingness to bear both the pain and her resilience brings authenticity, and hope to her story. You also want to engage in using some storytelling techniques. This is the third large tip. And one way you can do that is to use symbolism to add depth. You can look for recurring objects, places, or images in your story that hold deeper meaning and weave them through your narrative. This creates layers in your story, making it more memorable. You can also use something like the describe and metaphor function of the Smart Writer to add depth to your narration by having it include some metaphors. And you can also toggle the amount of creativity that you're requesting from the AI, which will also help to develop some symbolism and add depth. In Crying in H Mart, Michelle Zauer, for her journey, food becomes a powerful symbol of family, culture, and memory. Her descriptions of Korean dishes evoke her mother's presence, adding a layer of poignancy and connection to her heritage. So that's one good place to look if you're looking for a source for how you can use symbolism to add depth in your story. You should also use the senses for immersive storytelling. You want to bring the readers into your world by describing the sights, the sounds, the smells, and other sensory details on your journey. This technique is going to make scenes more vivid and engaging. It's allowing the readers to feel like they're experiencing events right alongside with you. And this is descriptive writing. We see this all the time in fiction, but it's something that you can develop in your nonfiction as well. And you can use the AI in Squibbler to do this by using the Smart Writer with the Describe feature, which allows you to toggle the senses that you want to use for your revision. In What My Bones Know, Stephanie Fu uses sensory-rich descriptions to convey the physical and emotional impact of her PTSD. These immersive details of her panic attacks help readers feel the intensity of her experiences. So even if you haven't experienced a panic attack, you will read this book and fully feel this along with the writer. Another way that you can use storytelling techniques is to create tension with cliffhangers and pauses. You want to build suspense in your narrative by breaking key moments into segments and letting readers pause and anticipate what's next. This is pacing, and it's going to help your readers stay hooked and invested in your story. You can also use the AI in Squibbler to increase the amount of tension that they're feeling or experiencing with the rewrite, create more conflict or create more tension. In The Beauty of Living by actress Sharon Stone, she often pauses after intense scenes where she reflects on her experiences before moving forward. These pauses add suspense and give readers time to absorb the weight of each event, and it also gives them the opportunity to catch their breath. Another way that you can use storytelling techniques is to use reflection to provide insight and meaning. Reflection is where you're going to connect past events with present understanding and offer insights to your readers. These reflections are revealing how much you've grown or what you've learned, and this is going to deepen the impact of your story as well. In Finding Me by Viola Davis, the actress often reflects on her childhood experiences through the lens of her success and professional growth. This introspection is going to add emotional weight, and it's going to help readers see the significance of her journey. Another story technique you can use is to employ flashbacks to add layers. You can use these to reveal background details or pivotal moments that shaped who you are. Flashbacks add layers and depth to your story and often offer your readers insights into your motivations and actions. In Somebody's Daughter by Ashley Ford, flashbacks are used to delve into her childhood memories and her complicated relationship with her father. This technique allows readers to see the full scope of her experiences, enriching her story with context and emotion. So if you're looking at a good way to use flashback in your own writing, you might take a look at her memoir. So you also want to think about publishing and finding your audience. You do need to know your core audience and write with them in mind. Identify who is going to most connect with your story. Because when you understand your audience, it's going to help shape your narrative style and guide your approach to the way you're going to market your book. In Untamed by Glennon Doyle, the author has written this with people seeking self-empowerment and authenticity in mind. Doyle's conversational, direct tone speaks to readers looking for inspiration to live more freely, which helped the book resonate widely with self-help-oriented audiences. You also want to build an online presence to share your story and build a community. Before and during the publishing process, use social media and platforms like blogs or vlogs or newsletters to share your journey and build an audience. Authentic engagement creates a supportive community who will be eager to read your book. And they might also happen upon it when they're doing searches for struggles of their own that mirror yours. In Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, he has benefited from having existent social media following, where he teased insights and shared parts of his life philosophy, which helped to build momentum and anticipation along with his audience prior to release. You also want to make sure that you choose the right publishing route for your goals. Whether you go with traditional, self publishing, or hybrid, each path has unique advantages and disadvantages. Traditional publishing offers wider distribution, but self publishing can give you more creative control and higher royalties. You want to choose which way you decide to publish based on your audience, your timeline, and creative needs. And we do have a free worksheet and another webinar called Publishing the Basics that can help you determine which route you would like to go. You Are a Bad title by Jen Sincero initially gained popularity through traditional publishing, but her relatable style and practical advice on self confidence helped it grow through word of mouth. And this proves the value of the traditional route in reaching a broad self help audience. You want to engage your readers with post publication to keep your momentum going. So after publishing, keep readers engaged with Q&A sessions, with book signings, with podcasts, or online book clubs. Continuous engagement is going to sustain interest in your book and draws new readers in through word of mouth. In Crying in H Mart, Michelle Zauner found success by engaging with her audience on online events through interviews and discussions on social media, which expanded her reach and connected her with readers on a personal level even after she published her book. Another way to publish and find your audience is to encourage readers to share and leave reviews. Reviews play a significant role in books' visibility. Encourage readers to leave honest reviews online or share their favorite excerpts. Reader testimonials provide social proof and can attract new audiences organically. And some good places to do this would be Goodreads, Amazon, and any book selling online that you can think of. An example of this that's successful is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and his book showed exponential growth because of the readers sharing their experiences with the book's practical advice on social media, and they left reviews. This organic sharing helped the book reach a broad audience beyond what we see with typical self-help readerships. So this is a good model for those of you writing self-help. So in this webinar, we've reviewed the art of crafting personal stories, and how you can use some strategies from fiction in your own nonfiction writing. We looked at the role of vulnerability and honesty. We've looked at some techniques you can use and some AI that Squibbler has that can help you that will create a lasting impact with your audience. And then we took a look at publishing and finding your audience as well. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so much, and good luck on your writing journey. Bye.